Why not?
Okay, guys, we are live. Episode 6 of our SIFC World Cup show.
What a voice, by the way.
And we're coming to you in 10, Ale. Are you ready?
I would say yes, I'm ready.
Everyone else is.
I'm a bit
4,
shy, as you know, but
3,
ready.
The wrong button.
2, 1.
Live. Yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Sports Illustrated Football Club, your World Cup special here on Sports Illustrated. I'm Alessandro Eremiti, and today I'm surrounded by two goats, apparently. Surprisingly, Lyes Bouzidi in the building wearing a Cristiano Ronaldo jersey. How are you?
Ooh, today I'm Cristiano, I guess, honestly. Everyone thought I was too critical of him in the first game. Then he did what he did in the second game. So today, I'm here to show my support for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Respect.
There
Now-
you go. We
now
respect
we-
greatness here.
Now we need to find a jersey of Dembele because people in the chat are asking for apologies. But let me introduce our other goats, a proper one, guys. She knows how to kick a ball. We just talked MLS analyst on Apple TV, former US Women national team player, also UEFA coach, Kacey White. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to chat with you guys.
Thank you for being with us. It's a pleasure to have with you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I mean, how can we be much better? This is right in the middle of the World Cup, and I'm talking with you guys, so it's great.
It's great, and I know you told me you went to the stadium yesterday, so we're gonna discuss
I did.
Ecuador.
Sounds great. I was finally able to go to a game, so to be there in person, unbelievable. And you were there too,
I
so
was
we're gonna
there
have
too.
some nice discussion about that.
What a great day for Ecuador, and what a great day for France. Let's start from the last game, because Norway B, let's say, was basically destroyed by France 4-1. And finally, Dembele, the Ballon d'Or, opened his account in this World Cup. Lyes, what do we think of this Dembele? Are we ready for apology? People in the chat are
Everyone
asking.
wants an apology, guys. Everyone wants, Lyes apologize for this, Lyes apologize for that. I didn't know what's going on here, man. Every show I have to come on here and then say sorry to someone.
I'm telling you what happens. Your opinion matters, apparently. Because
Maybe. I'm sorry, Ousmane Dembele, but also congratulations. You finally arrived at this tournament. We've been waiting to see the Ballon d'Or winner come to this tournament and showcase why we all know he's one of the best players in the world. I thought the first game he didn't play his best football, right? I think the second game it got better. And today, there's no doubt about it. This is the Ousmane Dembele that has lit it up for PSG the last 2 seasons for the Champions League. And I think for the first time in a French national team shirt at a tournament, he's finally showing up there. The stat wasn't fake. Before this tournament, he hadn't scored a single goal at a Euro or a World Cup. And for a player of his quality, that's almost unheard of. So I'm happy for him. I'm a big fan of Ousmane Dembele. And let's hope that now, 4 goals at this tournament, he could win the Golden Boot.
Yeah. Kacey, let me be nice. First question, are you enjoying the tournament?
I am loving the tournament. Absolutely. I'm also loving that he's already apologizing this early in the show. So I'm loving that.
I'm a humble guy. You know what it is.
I definitely love it. But no, the tournament's been unbelievable. I wish it came around more, but then it probably wouldn't be as special, would it? So it's just been great.
It's just been great. Now, as a former player, you are Erling Haaland. You are fighting for the Golden Boot here. What do you think if your manager leaves you on the bench in a games like this, when you want to face, when the world is waiting you to face Kylian Mbappe, another of the other great stars?
From the former player perspective, you would hope that he had a role in that as well, that he knew that he needed to sit out in that moment. But from a competitive perspective, you almost have to wonder, how do you manage that? And how do you sit there when you know he has to be itching to get out there and keep pace and be able to do that? But there is a bigger picture as well. And having that team element is also a piece. A lot of times we know nines have that different personality though, so that's usually not something you see. I'd love to be in those conversations on exactly why that's happening, but maybe he's gonna come out and be able to use that to his advantage.
He spoke after the game, right, against Senegal, where they had qualified immediately. And they asked him about the France game. And he literally said, I don't really care about the France game. He said they're probably going to beat us and they're probably going to go and win the World Cup too. So I think in his head, the fact that Norway, I think that the group's goal going to this tournament was probably to get out of the group. And now I think their goal is just, let's preserve energy. Let's go deep into this competition as we can. This game, yes, if we beat France, it's amazing. But realistically, we're probably better equipped to rest our best players and get into that round of 32 fully equipped.
Look, I was watching his last video on YouTube, and it was great because, first of all, he's a great YouTuber.
Erling Haaland.
Yes.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's
For me, he's one of my favorite personalities in
Yeah,
the sport.
he's an amazing YouTuber, and he said, look, we are missing here since 1998. People just should be happy. We're here.
Yeah.
We're happy to be here, and let's see. Let's go day by day, step by step. But now, for me, they have the quality. They faced, can we say, Kacey, they faced the favorite to win this World Cup.
I believe they have. And I want to go back real quick to what you just said about knowing that they've accomplished something great. I think that's an interesting balance as a player to be able to say we've accomplished something great, but also you know that they're not going to settle with that. Yeah. So while I believe it to a bit of a degree of they have to conserve him and make sure that he's ready to go when it actually matters now that they have qualified, I don't think that it's necessarily how his mentality is. You don't become a goal scorer like that with that type of mentality. But going back to the French side, I do believe that they are still a favorite. But what I love about the game is you never know who's going to win on any given day. And that's why, for me, I don't know if you can ever just say this is the team that has to win, in my opinion, because there's so many factors.
I completely agree. I feel like every tournament that I can remember watching, dating back to 2006, the team that goes into the tournament as the heavy favorite has not won it on almost any occasion. Maybe Spain in 2010 was the one side I can remember clearly going in as a favorite based on what they had done in previous competitions, and they actually ended up winning it. But I always cast my mind back to 2006, where Brazil entered the tournament with R9, Adriano, Ronaldinho, Kaká, all of the big names, Robinho, and they lost in the quarterfinals to France, and that was all she wrote. It's similar to last tournament. Again, I thought Brazil came in. No one thought Argentina before a ball was kicked were going to win it. So I agree. Obviously, if you're a betting person, France are quite easily the biggest team with the players that they have. But I agree with Kacey. It's never really as simple as it is. It's never won on paper like that.
Yeah. Let me say hi to Johnny, who's watching us from home.
Say, Johnny.
Guys, I miss you. Johnny, I miss you.
We
The
miss
good
you
old
too, man.
days when the clock was working. And no, Kacey, let me go back for a second to the tournament, because I want to know from you, how is it important for the US hosting a tournament like this, and what kind of boost can give to the whole movement?
It's incredibly important for a couple reasons. One, just to continue to generate more and more interest. We saw what it does every World Cup. We saw what it did in '94. I was only 10 years old. I remember being wide-eyed, excited to watch Argentina, Diego Maradona. That's not just for Messi, it's for Maradona as well. I grew up a huge fan. What it did for the United States and gaining more viewership was huge. Every World Cup we see that. But also, I think it's nice for the United States to display the investment that they've put into the game. Major League Soccer, how far it's come, all the different areas that we've grown from an investment perspective with our stadiums, with our training facilities. Like, that's nice also to be able to showcase that it is growing here in the States. So I think it's very important.
Yeah, and you're wearing the jersey of a guy who had a...
Yes, I am.
Yeah, a tiny... Yeah, he's a new guy from Argentina. I think he's had a tiny impact also on the MLS, right?
Yeah, a bit of an understatement for sure. Messi's unbelievable, and there's a reason I have this jersey on, and he's been incredible in what he's brought to the league, and just the number of eyes that are on the league, and then the fact that he is performing at the level he is. It also helps that not only is he performing domestically here, but then he turns it into World Cup performance so far. 5 goals in 2 games. It's one thing to do it in your domestic league, to your point about what you're saying about Dembele until today, and then to come actually into the World Cup and say, hey, I'm still at the highest level.
Lyes, I mean, you're wearing a Cristiano Ronaldo jersey. What do you want you to say?
You guys know how I feel about Messi, man. You guys know how I feel. Some things don't need to be explained, man. Leo is the greatest I've seen, and his impact on Major League Soccer and his impact on football in the U.S. it can't even be quantified by words. No.
On the chat we have an interesting comment. The France route is looking tasty and will be the greatest run to a title if they go.
I did see the expected bracket, how it looks for France, right? I think the next game for them is poised to be Sweden. And then I think they are set to play the winner of Netherlands and Morocco.
Germany
first, and then maybe more likely than not Netherlands and Morocco based on how their thing is. So But look, at the end of the day, we can talk about the strength of the bracket. To win the World Cup, you have to beat the best teams. I'm in my own little world right now of Algeria, where people are talking about, oh, can we avoid this team to play this team? And if we lose this game, then we play a better. I'm like, just forget about that. You're at the World Cup. Play whoever you're up against. If you go home, that's the way it goes. And if not, look at what Morocco did last tournament. They had to beat Spain and Portugal to the semifinal, and they did it. That's the beauty of the tournament.
You know what? Since you said this, let me call in the conversation our beautiful Dutch voice. Because yesterday he was really worried. Guys, Dan is fantastic.
He's a pessimistic fan.
Every second you watch the Netherlands play, it's pure passion. And yesterday he was calculating every aspect. Ale, what do you think? Brazil, Morocco, or maybe we go third? No, you don't want to go third because it's France. So Dan, what do we say?
I mean, yeah, you've had the unfortunate pleasure of watching a few Dutch games with me now.
It's a pleasure, not unfortunate. It's a real pleasure. It's a real pleasure because yesterday you also brought me to a Dutch bar. Great vibes, you know.
Yeah, we'll go there after the show on Monday, guys, and watch the Netherlands-Morocco game. But no, I think as I'm getting older, the 90 minutes is the most unenjoyable part of a World Cup for me.
I agree.
I enjoy the build-up, and I enjoy if we've won, that's amazing. But the 90 minutes I find so stressful.
The more I think about it, man, football's overrated, honestly. The game is the least enjoyable part when you're supporting a team. It's
how I always talk about penalty kicks as well. I took all penalty kicks my entire career, loved it. I cannot watch them. I have that empathetic nature of watching people and cheering for them and what's going on or whatever it may be. Same thing with watching a 90-minute game at times. I'm like, how did I do this? Because when I watch, I get more nervous than I ever did.
But you're in control of that penalty. That's why. Because I took it when I was playing too. You're in control of your own destiny. When you're watching it there, it's like everything goes out the window. The question of quality versus it's all out the window. It's just 1v1, and you as a fan have no say in it whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, there is a different perspective. If you are in the stadium, it looks quicker. If you're watching on TV, it looks eternal. But I have a question for you. Can you talk me through when you used to walk to the penalty spot? What did you think? What did you used to think?
So I was quite routine. We are talking about 10 to 20 years ago. I won't say exactly where it falls there, but I was quite routine. So I didn't focus on anything but getting to the spot, taking my time, picking my spot out, and going. Didn't make eye contact, didn't do any games. It was all about technique for me. I had to stay locked in, and I knew that if I could keep my nerves and technically hit what I needed to hit, it was going to be fine. And so I didn't change it up. I didn't do anything really special with it, to be quite honest.
That. I absolutely love that. I have a real big beef with the modern day penalty and all of the stutters and movements that go on. I understand that there's got to be statistics behind it, right? In terms of if you kind of like make the keeper guess towards the last second, it increases the chance. But I love that mentality of if you hit a ball well enough into the corner, the goalkeeper is not expected to save a penalty. The chance that you hit a penalty well into the bottom corner and the keeper still saves it is so small. And I don't know, I obviously you see tons of players stutter and still score, but every time they do it and miss, I'm just thinking to myself, oh my God, you're
trying to limit what you think about. Like, calm your brain. So honestly, I agree.
We love the penalty kick. We love also our personal hydration break. We're going on a break on SI TV, and we're going to go to Dan.
Right, guys, because we didn't get to see the Haaland versus Mbappe face-off today that we're all so hoping for, we're going to do it now. Okay, so this is Haaland versus Mbappe in the following attributes. Okay, so first off, pace. Who takes it?
I think Mbappe might be the only player in the world that actually beats Haaland in this regard. Haaland is a rapid, but Kylian is a blur.
100%. And when you talk about pace, you're talking about pace also with the ball or without the ball as well. And I think Mbappe takes it too. I agree with you.
Why am I to disagree with two goats?
You can't. You just can't, Alex.
Haaland is
Smart
rapid,
man.
though. By the way,
Smart man.
Haaland is a rapid, but it's Mbappe, man. It's a different level.
Okay, quick fire. First touch.
Ooh.
Both of them.
I might give Haaland the nod on this because you can talk about first touch in a lot of different ways too. It's balls bouncing in and using separation with being able to hold someone off with your first touch, not just a pure let's hit a ball and take a first touch. So I think just the wide range of how he can collect the ball, I'd probably give to him.
Okay, we'll go with Haaland for that. Finishing.
U.S. women national team player. I go Haaland. If you did better, let us know.
Finishing Haaland and Mbappe. Can I be controversial here?
Go on.
I think Mbappe is a better finisher than him.
Ooh.
I think Haaland's movement in terms of getting to chances is better, but I think 1v1 against the goalkeeper, I think Kylian Mbappe is clinically underrated in that sense.
You're going to be apologising again next show, Lyes,
It's really,
but,
yeah, that's an interesting one. I think you're right about the timing and the movement in the box, giving it to Haaland, but I don't know. Just the 1v1, I give to Mbappe, finishing touch, I go Haaland.
Erling.
Okay, shot power.
Erling Haaland.
I can't disagree with that.
I go Haaland.
Haaland.
Okay, leadership.
Oh, that's tough.
Ooh, that's tough.
It's very difficult to
How do you
quantify.
define
I'm not
it?
gonna
Yes.
lie, it's tough to quantify. Maybe Mbappe is the captain of his national team. I'll give it to him. You know what? I'm gonna give it to Mbappe because I saw the halftime speech he gave in the World Cup final when he basically led them back. I haven't seen Haaland do it, which isn't his fault, but I'm gonna give it to Mbappe just because there's no other way of quantifying it.
Final one, who are you starting?
Mbappe on the left, Haaland up front.
How do you disagree with that?
How do you pick, man? Seriously, you're talking about two of the
Great
greats.
answer.
And we are back on SI TV. Another names we didn't highlight properly in the first couple of fixtures is the Brazil leader right now. I'm gonna come to you, Kacey. Vinicius Jr. is the main man of Brazil, so we need to apologize because
Oh,
we didn't.
another apology. Come
Yeah,
on, man.
today-
Seriously.
This is a lot of apologies I'm noticing. I like
Yeah,
this.
today we are here to apologize because it's like we didn't include him in the same universe as Lamine Yamal, Mbappe, and I mean I'm not considering Messi because he lives on
He's on
island.
the same planet. Yeah.
But according to you, does Vinicius Jr. Live in the same space? of
I
this
think
player?
he is close. I don't know if I might be apologizing too now because I might be.
No, you don't need
guys.
to. No,
the comments will come for you, huh?
No, however, I do think he's right there. He's in the conversation for sure. And and then you talk about your national team's reliability on a player as well, like, and that kind of pressure that's put on those players. He is in that universe in that way, but I don't know from a contribution perspective if I quite put him in the same conversations we're having with an Mbappe and a Haaland, but obviously I have a lot of respect for his game.
you see, people say love Kacey on this show much better. You know,
There you go.
no one.
I love you guys.
No one is gonna disagree with you.
She's already better than Luka, guys. Honestly, we found a replacement. And she's in the World Cup too, so she can.
You know, Kacey, if I say something, hey, who are you? You can tell whatever you want. It's like,
I appreciate that.
Go ahead.
go ahead, Vini Jr. What a man, the main man.
Yeah, he's confusing to me because I don't necessarily disagree with what Kacey said, especially over the last year or two at Real Madrid. But then I cast my mind back to 3 years ago where he was the favorite to win the Ballon d'Or and he had led his team to a Champions League, which to be fair, Mbappe hasn't been able to do yet. Yamal. Like Vini Jr., his highs, I think, are right up there with anybody. You look at his goal scoring record in the Champions League throughout his career, he's got more goals than like Ronaldinho and Hazard in this competition. He's won 2 Champions League with Real Madrid, the campaign he's having with Brazil. I just think with Vini, there's a bit too much inconsistency sometimes in his game, but I do think talent-wise and peak, like when he's at his apex, I think he can honestly talk to almost any player in the world. I do.
And I think we need to worry a bit because his peak came under Carlo Ancelotti, and now they're back together.
Carlo
so-
knows how to utilize him, and there's
So-
clearly a good way of that relationship.
Well, and to that point, you were talking about obviously his performance at the club level, at the professional level. When we're talking about these conversations, that's almost a given. When we're talking about these greats, it's what are they doing at the national team level, and what are they doing in the World Cup specifically? And is he able to step up? Is he able to take them further than they would have without him? Obviously, he's a great player, but that remains to be seen. And now that they're matching back up.
Yeah, it's for me. We need to keep an eye on this Brazil.
We needed to keep an eye on him. For me, all this talk about apologies is funny, right? But in all serious though, right? Vinicius Jr. being one of the best players in the world, like Kacey said, 100%. He's one of the best, but in terms of being in that caliber, we were expecting and waiting for him to do it in a Brazil shirt. And I don't think we're wrong to expect that. We're talking about the greatest football nation of all time. We're talking about their best player by current form and status in Vini. And he hasn't been able to translate that form into the national team until this point. And now that he's here, we rediscover the conversation. And we can gladly say that if he continues playing like this, yeah, he can talk to almost anybody.
Yeah, and in the meantime, guys, it's 19 minutes. We have the first comment. Kacey's national team plays in the World Cup. Lucas doesn't.
There you go. There you go. 100%. Right off the bat, for me, Kacey, tailor-made for the... Ali, you're next, huh? You need to be very careful, huh? Luca's not
I can
here.
only go down from here, I feel like, at this
No,
point.
don't worry, Kacey. We have a running joke.
We got a lot of time.
We got a running joke because my two co-hosts here are Italian, so of course they're not here at the World Cup with us, just in spirit. So
Sad, yeah.
We actually, now I'm obviously at the World Cup of Algeria. You're at the World Cup here with the US. So Ali, you're actually the odd man out right now, man.
Yeah, I know.
Those are fighting
I'm
words.
outnumbered. I'm outnumbered. Yeah, I keep counting the stars on my jersey. Guys. You know what?
Fair enough. All right.
I keep doing that, but it's fine. It's fine. And another great day for football because every time Neymar Jr. steps on the pitch, we are happy.
I love Neymar, man. I love him. I think he's the most divisive player of his generation. But one thing I really loved is that when he came onto the pitch for the first time in 3 years for Brazil, the applause in every corner of the stadium, and even in the place that I was at a Brazilian watch party, everyone is on their feet cheering, Neymar, Neymar, Neymar. I feel like that was the one moment that everybody just came together and said, we're happy to see Neymar back. There's no talk about his diving or whether he underachieved. It's just, we're happy to see one of the most gifted players of a generation back on the football pitch where he belongs. Now, I'm going to be honest, as a big Neymar fan, I do think he looked really rusty when he came on. It doesn't look like he's not at his physical peak. Naturally, he hasn't played for 2 months now. But I think he can still offer something to this team, even if it is in 15-minute intervals, because of his leadership, because of the quality he still possesses on the ball. Overall, I'm just happy to see him back, man. Football missed Neymar.
I'm going to actually take it off the field, which I don't normally do. I love the tactical side of the game, but it is etched in my recent memory of when it was announced that he made this team. And when you have a player like Neymar that reacts with the emotion, it takes me back to being at a level where you're trying to make teams and he doesn't take it for granted. And like with all the success that he's had, to see that made me, himself, endear himself more to me. Yeah. And I hadn't seen that really from him. And so, you know, the on-field stuff, hopefully he'll not be as rusty and he'll get back in and all of those types of things and have the contribution we know he can have. But I love seeing that there's this humility piece there on top of having the talent that he has.
Definitely. I mean, this is a guy that's gone to hell and back. We have to be honest, right? The last 3 years, he's gone from a player that was at one point the most expensive player in the world. I mean, he actually still holds that record with his transfer to PSG.
And also the player who moved more money with his transfer.
Yeah, he was at one point a Ballon d'Or contender, the heir to Messi and Ronaldo to many people. He's gone from that player to a player that went to Al Hilal and that transfer failed with him playing one game and then going to Santos and almost getting relegated and people turning on him and him missing a year out through injury. And then almost missing the net. Like, he has literally gone through everything. He has gone from the absolute top all the way to the absolute bottom. And now, I think himself getting back to the top in the way he has, I think that's where the emotion came from. Like, this took everything for Neymar to be able to be ready for this tournament. And I think that moment where he was crying, even after the game on the pitch, that really touched the human side of it.
Yeah,
100%.
and I don't want to quote another Italian, but I have to quote Carlo Ancelotti. In the press conference, he talked about, I don't care that much of playing a beautiful football at the end in a tournament. What does it matter is winning.
I agree with him, and I don't necessarily always agree with that across an entire season, because more often than not, if your processes are in place and your principles of play are sound, results normally come. But that is over an extended period of time. So we talk about managers too, managing in the professional club environment versus managing a national team. It's different. It takes different skill sets. And so I don't mind that piece, because ultimately, no one at the end of a World Cup, if someone raises the trophy, is going to be like, it didn't look great. Well, it was effective. And now they're World Cup champions. And so I think it could be a little bit of a controversial statement in the fact that we like to watch a lot of possession-oriented games and the technical side, but it doesn't have to be. And I think that's what he's hitting on there.
I think it speaks to Ancelotti as well. This is a guy that has won almost as many Champions Leagues as he's won league titles. And that's a lot of Champions Leagues. And to be honest, for a manager of his status, not that many league titles. Kind of speaks to what you're saying here, right? He's a guy that over 38 games maybe doesn't have a system that is just foolproof, right? But in the moments, in knockout football, which is all about moments, his team continue to find the quality and the leadership and the know-how in those decisive moments to continuously win Champions Leagues and Cups. And now let's see the World Cup. Yeah.
I want to take quickly a plane to the Sophie Stadium because we have Kacey here. And I want to talk about the US. Not an exciting performance yesterday, but an exciting and convincing start of this World Cup. Now, what are the expectations according to you?
I'm so interested in hearing this because I've heard from a few people what their expectations are.
Well, let's set the stage. If we rewind back to the night before the first game, we're happy. right now.
Yeah.
We are happy. We won the group. Okay. We put ourselves in a position to play a third place team. We're going, this is a successful group stage. The way in which we lost last night, a little bit of a gut punch. No one likes that when you're cheering for your country. The changes obviously made it a bit more disjointed against Turkey. What I haven't liked hearing from a lot of people is like, well, Turkey is not advancing. They shouldn't be this difficult to play against. Like, they were expected to advance out of this group. So that's not an easy game, and not playing our starting 11 that we've been going with. So that's the first thing. Is I think we're disappointed we didn't win all three, but to be in a position to say we're disappointed we didn't win all three, great. I think that's a positive for this group. Now it's about the continuity and being able to, I think, be able to break down different types of systems if we are able to advance, which I believe we can. So we're seeing that these low block systems are difficult. It made it hard for England. You know, God, it made it hard for them. Being able to break that down, you have to have the efficiency in the final third. You have to be able to pull players out. I think there's going to be some different challenges like that early on. Then we're going to start to have the competition even harder if we go on, and it's going to become a more wide open game, which will be interesting as well.
What do you think can be considered a successful tournament based on finish for the U.S.? How far could they go and you'd be like, you know what, I'm happy with that tournament?
I would be happy with quarterfinals.
Thank you so much. That's all I needed to hear.
That to me would make sense, and it would also mean that they have had to win 2 games that could be very different challenges and what that's going to look like. I do think once you get to the quarterfinals, you're in the top 8 in the world. I mean, that is going to be incredibly difficult, and based on our ranking, based on our history and what we've done, I think we would be very happy with that. Now, if you ask the players and they get there and lose, never going to feel that way, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But from a big perspective, I think that would be wonderful.
I completely agree with that, honestly. But the reason I asked is because I've heard a lot of people say, a lot of people at the start were saying, even if we get out the group, it's okay, or if we get to the round of 16. I feel like right now the U.S. has an opportunity, A, because of the quality of the team they have, B, the experience and quality that Pochettino has, but see the fact that they're playing at home.
Yeah,
like
correct.
And also if you look at the path, is a doable.
Oh, yeah,
It's favorable. It's favorable.
Yeah, but U.S. needs to beat Bosnia at home. If they don't beat Bosnia at home, I'm sorry, that's a failure, right? Where they're currently at. No disrespect to Bosnia. Bosnia are going to do what they do to make it difficult. They should be beating them, though.
We know.
And for Italy, not so much, but I know it's difficult
we
for
know.
them.
I know. Before the break, one last question for you, Kacey, on this. Do you think that the pressure can in a certain way, take the lead on the team?
It could, but I thought more so it could before I saw how we approached the first game of the World Cup.
Agreed.
When I saw that they had the mentality to come off their send-off game and go into that first game and absolutely get after it, press high, repress, counter-press, and the movements and rotations that they had, that there wasn't a moment of hesitancy entering that game. When I saw that psychological appearance and shift, it made me feel better about now going into the knockout rounds, that they have that confidence and culture behind them.
Yeah, that's it.
I completely agree. My question for you, Kacey, who is the best, or rather, how should I phrase this? I guess what I'm asking here.
You know what?
Should we wait for after the break?
Yeah,
Wait for after the break.
We're gonna break.
Yeah,
and
then we'll
now
ask,
we pass the ball to Dan. Was a question from the audience actually.
Yeah, so Ale, you are very quick to praise everyone around you, but we've had a comment, Ale is the GOAT. And I completely agree. Big up Ale.
We take it.
I love that. I love that.
I agree.
We've also had, this was the longest countdown I've ever experienced. Yep, apologies everyone for that.
Yeah, I mean,
Lyes was very busy writing his apology to
I need to
Dembele.
do another apology. Right?
No.
I'm out of apologies for today, guys. Sorry, you got 2, that's it. No more.
Luca is catching strays, you know. It's quite funny, but Luca looks a bit different today. Yeah, Luca, get your notebook out. I see that as high praise.
Sacked in the morning.
Another one, interesting. What do you guys think about people saying the host nations get favourable opponents in the round of 32? The likes of Brazil and the Netherlands got screwed with their fixtures. I mean, I agree. Yeah.
I will say, with all the matchups I've seen so far that are set, I was the most concerned about Netherlands. And I'm like, with the way that they're performing, and then Morocco, it would have been Morocco or Brazil coming out of that group. So either way, it's a tough draw for the Netherlands. So I'm with you on that. I think that's very difficult.
I've never cheered on Scotland so much in my life. And what about Canada? Another one here. They don't get to stay in Canada for the last
I got
32.
beef with FIFA, man.
Of course, they-
This is the first host nation in the history of the World Cup to be playing a World Cup game not at home. How does that make sense, right?
Basically, you have a nickname Benedetto Reitano because he said exactly the same thing.
It's ridiculous. Like, the U.S., if they finished first, second, or third, would be playing their knockout game in the U.S. With Mexico and Canada, they had to finish first to then play their knockout in their home country. I think FIFA should have organized it so that no matter whether you finished first or second in Canada's group, that next game would be in a stadium in Canada. Because now, Canada won't play in Canada again. I find that flawed for a host nation, to be honest with you. It doesn't feel anymore because of that like this is Canada, U.S., and Mexico hosting. It feels like the U.S., and a few other games in Mexico and Canada, which I don't think was meant to be the goal at the start, personally.
And we are back on SI TV. You had a question for us.
I had a question for you. So, what do you think would be the best team the U.S. could lose to, where you would be like, or rather the worst team the U.S. could lose to, where you would still be like, you know what, fair enough. Like that's tough.
Ooh, that's a really
Like you lose to
tough
France or
question.
Spain, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, if you're losing to France, Spain, Argentina, I'm not saying a whole lot about that.
Where does your barometer though kind of start?
I think, and this is no disrespect to Morocco, but I think Morocco is still having to prove that like it wasn't necessarily a fluke 4 years ago getting to the semifinals. And I've said that since before the tournament, and I am a big fan of the Moroccan national team and what they've done. Obviously winning a U20 World Cup, like their pathway is unbelievable right now. But I don't think it would be a bad thing if we lost to them, but I think it'd be a good measuring stick of can we go even further in the World Cup now and in the future as well.
Interesting.
Are they gonna beat the Netherlands?
Is Morocco?
Yeah.
No, so I'm not gonna have to worry about us playing Morocco. That is the one.
I think the Dutch will beat them.
Yeah.
I do.
I really do. I just think it's a much tougher game than I expected at that point for the Dutch.
But you know what's crazy? The other game that's almost like intersecting between those two groups is Brazil-Japan, which I think
That's
in its
an
own right is
interesting one.
very difficult too. So it could have been Brazil-Dutch. I think Brazil-Japan is almost as difficult. Japan have been very good this tournament.
Yeah. So the people asking for prediction for Uruguay-Spain, stay with us. We're gonna do it in 10, 15 minutes. Since you were mentioning the Netherlands, I've been highlighting some interesting facts from the tournament, and one of these is the Netherlands squad depth. Because yesterday I was watching the game we done. And Somerville, Kluivert, Combiners, Memphis, and Lang came off the bench with Van de Ven resting. For me, this is a great team in terms of
It's a
depth.
great depth. Yeah, and I think you look at across the tournament and across previous tournaments, depth is a big player when it comes to these national teams and these international tournaments. And the Netherlands have tons of it. And I think the most important one that has emerged, not even as depth, but as a starter, is Brian Brobby, right? I think the Dutch finally have a potentially prolific number 9 for the first time since what? Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, Van Persie? Like we're talking a long time now where I feel the Dutch have had a presence up front. Now, it remains to be seen whether he can continue playing this way against the best center backs at this tournament. So for example, if they end up playing Saliba and Upamecano, can he boss them the way he's bossing defenders? But I'm loving the way he's playing right now, and I'm loving the way the Dutch are playing.
Well, completely agree with you on that. I do believe the question coming into this tournament is for the Dutch, it's not about can they beat a Morocco, it's can they contend to win a World Cup. And the question that I've had with them is who is the X factor scorer for them, or is it enough to do it by committee? Is depth enough? Because if all these teams we're talking about, Spain, Lamine Yamal, France, Kylian Mbappe, Messi, I mean, we're talking about all these players. And the Dutch have wonderful players, but it is more about the depth piece. And they have players stepping up, to your point.
Yeah.
Does that get you far enough to win a World Cup? I don't know.
I do love their midfield. I think their midfield is absolutely
wonderful.
brilliant. You look at Gravenberg, Frankie, and Tijani Reinders.
Yeah.
I think that's up there with almost any midfield.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. But let me say something. Let me find
Say
an
something.
analogy with 2006. There is a striker for the Dutch who did really well in Serie A, who saved his goal for the quarterfinal. 2006, Luca Toni. 2026, Daniel Malen. But yeah, I mean, exactly what I was saying. I want to talk about you dark horses because yesterday, Kacey and I were both in the stadium in New York, and we watched something really special. Before talking about the game, Dan, do we have a VT? Do we have something special?
We do. What an experience that was yesterday. I mean, we took the train from New York to New Jersey, and that was a great experience. Seamless.
Actually, I don't know if we were lucky.
I should have done that.
Actually, I don't know if we were lucky.
I have regret.
I've heard a lot of people complaining, Lyes, going and coming, especially coming back from the stadium, was one of the smoothest experience of my life.
You said it was one of the smoothest.
Smoothest.
It was perfect.
Straight away, 30 minutes.
Thoughts?
Not in a car. That's why I have massive regrets right now, because apparently the other options were better.
How much was the train though?
Okay.
Let's move on.
If you want
Details.
okay, detail, if you want this brilliant service, is $98 return ticket.
Not everyone can build SIFC, huh?
No, but the game itself was spectacular as well. Germany took a really early lead, and you feared for Ecuador at that point. But they showed fight. They showed real fight. And we were there to capture a bit of behind-the-scenes atmosphere. And here it is for you.
Well, there's no secret about this now. There's no complication. It is hell for leather from Ecuador. One goal to change their lives. Vite plays it in. Rodriguez, it is touched in! And Ecuador are alive and kicking! Today, they were required to beat the 4 times champions of the world. And from behind, they did!
What afternoon. And now, Kacey, we were talking about Ecuador as one of the team disappointing in this tournament. Now they got the qualification round of 32. Can they be the dark horse in this tournament?
I think they can. I saw something different in them yesterday, and I don't think it was all the excitement of being there. I don't think. What I saw was an approach to that game that I didn't necessarily expect. A manager can go one of two ways. They can sit in a low block, keep it as tight as long as possible, keep the play in front of them, and then start to come out, get a set piece, and get more going forward. Or they can go after the team. Now, Germany scoring early had them come out a little bit more, but he still could have said, let's keep it tight and go. What I loved was their pressing from the front, their mentality, and it wasn't work ethic only. It was they were staying in a block. Every time it went into a holding mid in the double pivot, they were on it right away, and it fueled their counter-attacking transition. And it was wonderful to see that tactical piece combined with the effort, the intensity, and the passion in the players that you definitely saw around the entire stands.
According to you, was more the stance dragging the players into the best performance, or the players going and dragging the whole stadium? Because for me, it was the player.
I agree.
Because it looks like, okay, now it's dead, you know? Because they started selling si se puede, yes we can,
Yes.
but then the Germans,
Exactly. No, I agree with you. I thought the fans were wonderful, but I actually felt that the play egged on the fans to get even more involved. It was inspiring.
Yeah.
I was a completely neutral fan, and I was wanting to chant si se puede with the fans in Ecuador and all of that because of the way that they were inspirational and the way that they were playing and going after it without fear and getting back into the game.
And then if you do this with Pacho, Hincapié, Moises Caicedo, and there is another name, because yesterday was really impressed with Nilsson Angulo. The guy, for me,
Top performance.
top performance. And do you see him into a big move in the transfer window?
I mean, potentially. If I go back to Ecuador, right, I actually think they've played well this tournament. I just think they haven't been able to score. I think if you watch the game back against Cote d'Ivoire, which was my game to watch, because I came into it thinking Cote d'Ivoire were going to be the dark horses.
Yeah.
That was a very even game. They hit the crossbar in the post twice in the first half.
Yeah.
Their finishing just wasn't there. You look at the game against Curaçao, they dominated Curaçao, as you would expect, but they just couldn't score. That was what was lacking in this tournament. It wasn't, in my opinion, poor performances or lack of effort. And I think scoring as early as they did in this game, it was almost like, oh my goodness, finally we've grabbed our goal. Now we can kind of go on and grab a second. So I think this performance was coming for Ecuador. And I look at Germany almost a little more and think, I'm not really convinced by the Germans, to be honest with you. I didn't think they played especially well against Cote d'Ivoire. I think they were quite fortunate that at the end, Adingra doesn't finish off his chance. And I think this game for me is another almost alarm bell where 2 times Germany have kind of been tested, and I haven't walked away from them thinking this is Germany that we know and love at World Cups. And I do worry for them going forward into the competition. But to Casey's point about Ecuador, this almost feels like their tournament has now just started over, right? The group's out of the way now. Their tournament starts now.
And that's what's scary about it. That's a great point, because when someone feels like they have that new life, watch out.
Yeah, I feel like the dark horse tag is definitely back now, because now the tournament starts from the round of 60 or the round of 32, and I think they might be set to play England. Which hey, I worry for that's going to be a tough game.
You don't want to face them, definitely. Amongst the third, of course, the situation is not completely defined. Are they the one that can go the farthest?
Of the third place teams?
Yeah.
Algeria might finish third, so I have to say Algeria.
Okay, we have to wait.
I mean, Senegal with a huge win today. I feel similarly about them, that their tournament starts from now on too.
Yeah, so no chances for Scotland, apparently.
Let's see if they even make it. At the moment, they're basically praying on a miracle.
They're praying. Another thing that I want to highlight, another memorable moment, according for me, in this World Cup, Memo Ochoa playing his 6th World Cup, crying the man. What a beautiful moment, Kate.
Oh, I love this. I brought up Neymar earlier. Sorry, I had to pause. Like, the human side of me just gets like so happy when these moments happen, because I do have this piece where I feel like sometimes we forget that these are humans at the end of the day, and you see moments like that where you see how much it means to a player that has had the career that he's had, and the gratitude you could tell that he feels in that, but also the competitive nature he still has, the ability. I don't know how these players play for this long. Like, honestly, I'm thinking about my age and seeing like these players that are able to do that. It's absolutely unbelievable. But also what you can't discount is the leadership ability that someone like that brings to a squad that's already incredibly talented, but someone like that who's been there.
I completely agree. I mean, I think I saw this graphic the other day about how old players would be, like legendary players would be, if they played as long as Messi did till 39. And I think it was like Henry would have played the 2018 World Cup. The guy retired in 2012. Like, the fact that these guys can elongate their careers now this late into their career, and you have guys like Messi and Ronaldo doing what they're doing late into their careers, and Ochoa able to appear at a 6th World Cup. That is unfathomable 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and it speaks to the legendary career he's had.
Buffon would have easily done it.
Yeah.
But
was it North Macedonia at that time, or was it Sweden?
It was Sweden. Yeah, it was Sweden. Yeah, I mean, don't make me start with that. And then we have also the first Asian player to play 5 World Cup. Do you know the name?
5 World Cups from an Asian player?
Yeah.
Oh, Nagatomo.
Yes.
Of course, Nagatomo.
One of your guy, Inter.
Yeah, Inter left back, man. Hey, a great career for him too.
Yeah. Can this Japan be a threat for Brazil?
Yes, but I think Brazil will beat them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said to Dan, because when we were discussing, okay, should we go for Brazil, should we go for Morocco, and I say they are Brazil. I don't see them going out on the round of 32.
I don't, but I don't think it's as straightforward as it looks just based on history. I don't think we can really do that with this expanded format, some of the results we've seen. And yes, as it gets a little bit more narrow, usually those teams figure it out, but I don't think it's as simple as it looks.
I agree. No, I definitely agree. I think Japan will give them a very good game. But I do think Japan, from a physical point of view, might struggle with the pace that Brazil have in attack. That's my one thing.
And as I always say, one of your favorite phrases.
What is it? The pitch will do the talking.
We always tell the truth. We go on a break. We go to Dan for something beautiful, something special.
Oh, I hope so. Right, as the group stages are almost complete now, I want to revisit our 5-a-side team that you guys chose with Luca early on in the tournament. Just to recap, you went for Manuel Neuer in goal, Van Dijk as a defender. You started with Pedri and Vitinha in the middle, but used a bit of a cheat code to get Messi and Yamal into that midfield, and Haaland up top. So I want you guys to think about who's performed in the group stage and come up with your 5-a-side.
This is based on performances.
Yeah.
Can I nominate a goalkeeper for you guys?
Yes.
Varginho, the Cabo Verde goalkeeper.
Bouzidi.
Bouzidi.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Yeah, 15
Why
saves,
not?
I think, for Spain, a clean sheet against them.
I mean, five-a-side's a little bit of a different format.
That's why I asked performance, or are we talking about who's going to ball
But if
up?
we're doing performance, I can go with that.
If we want 5-a-side, we'll go Ederson. But if we want performances, we'll go Varginho.
Apparently an hero on and off the pitch. Don't make me...
I'll put a defender in then,
Okay.
because I think you guys know who I'm going to be picking later. Van Dijk. for me. I think he has been incredible. It might be also that I'm a Liverpool fan. Don't be mad at me.
Oh, you didn't tell me that before, Casey.
Got on so
I
well
also
so
have
far.
to support the guy over
Casey,
here too.
this was a
Take
good.
it down.
Luca, you gotta come back now. I'm sorry. Oh
It
man.
gives a little context to my choice, but I think his performance has been
I
very
agree.
good.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
agree,
guys,
I agree.
30 seconds.
I
Two
agree.
midfielders.
Two midfielders. I'll throw one in. I think Nemecha on Germany.
Oh,
Outstanding.
Felix.
Outstanding. Felix Nemecha. That's my candidate. I'll let you go with the other one if you want.
I'm going to sneak Messi into the midfield then.
Yes,
on.
we
Let's
do it.
There
It's
you go.
allowed.
And then one striker.
One striker.
Pick your poison, man. Mbappe, Haaland, Undav.
It's matter of taste. Matter of taste.
What's your taste saying today?
Kylian Mbappe.
There you go. That's not a bad team, huh?
2 assists.
Not bad.
We are back. We are back, and it's time, guys. In the chat, they were asking a bit. I mean, people asking, "Oh, Ecuador have such an elite defense, but their attack is so bad." Guys, in the chat, let us know your 5-a-side of the group stages. And people were asking, "Guys, can you do a bit of preview of Uruguay, Spain, and then we can do Panama, England, Colombia, Portugal, Uruguay, Spain? What do we think? Spain to win, and Marcelo Bielsa." With another poetry and philosophy lesson for us.
Yeah, I think Uruguay are under bigger pressure because anything but a win today could ultimately spell the end of their tournament. Yes, no, I would say actually no. 3 points is probably not going to get you through as a third place team, just based on how other teams are doing. They definitely need to win today, and they're up against a Spain team that since Yamal came back into the fold, and I think he made a few changes last game, they look like the Spain I think we all feared going into this tournament. So it's a bad time to play Spain, and Uruguay in general I think have been one of the disappointments of this tournament.
Exactly what I was going to say is that Spain, in my opinion, still has something to prove because their standards are so high. So it's a bad time to be facing Spain with how they started the tournament. But I don't think from a proving perspective because they're worried. I just think they're going to come after it and make sure that it's hard for Uruguay.
100%.
And then we have tomorrow Panama, England. Now, what kind of starting 11 would you like to see from Thomas Tuchel?
It's not going to be one of Reece James because Fabrizio Romano just announced that he's going to be missing their next 2 games. So that's a big loss at right back. One thing I would love to see is different wingers. I think the Gordon Madueke thing ran its course. I would like to see Rashford in the starting 11 or maybe even a Morgan
100%.
Rogers playing off the left. And let's see what Saka's health is like because I think that's the reason why Madueke has been playing so much, but I would love to see the wings rotated. I think the rest of the team almost picks itself, to be honest with you.
Agreed. Rashford was the one I was going to bring up that I think he has to be in there, not only just with his player profile, but also the way he has contributed when he's come in and what he can do. So I think that is an obvious one for me.
I also think they can maybe show a little bit, and bear with me, a little bit more adventure in midfield. I think Declan Rice and Elliot Anderson are fantastic midfielders, but against a team like Panama, I think I would like to see them, I don't know, go for maybe an approach more where they absolutely dominate and suffocate the team with possession. And maybe it's because I'm a United fan. I would like to see Kobbie Mainoo given a go in this game. I think he maybe offers something a little different in terms of profile.
And why Kobbie Mainoo?
He's an amazing player. Well, genuinely, I think his profile in this kind of game, where England are going to have most of the ball, Panama are going to be in a deep block, I think that's an interesting technical profile.
I also think they have to get someone up near Harry Kane, just to pin the backs.
Yeah.
If they're going to be in a low block system, there has to be a little bit more creativity to play in between the lines, different things. And if you're playing a little bit more conservative from a midfield perspective, it makes it harder to do that.
Definitely.
And so it just makes your defenders make more decisions in those areas.
Someone from the chat is asking, isn't Elliot Anderson injured?
Is he injured? I don't know. He just got paid. He just got bought for
Yeah,
160 million. So
I was about to ask you.
Manchester City better hope not.
The last thing, probably the most important thing we've heard about him was, here we go,
Yeah.
Manchester City, 130 million pounds, which is $171 million. Is it too much, Lyes?
It's the game these days, man. I'm honestly over it. Really
It's the game in England.
Yeah, but he's going from an English team to an English team. So as far as I'm concerned, that's the game, right? Look, I've been really not perplexed, but I'm an old head, I guess, right? I'm just so used to transfers being a certain ballpark of fee, and I think we just need to accept now at this point that the days of great players going for 80 million, 90 million pounds is over, right? Now 80 is almost the benchmark for any half decent player, and to get a player you really want, you are probably going to have to spend these crazy amounts, but as I said, that's the game. I think he's a top player, though, and I think he will definitely improve Manchester City.
Casey, what are your thoughts on this transfer from England to England?
Well, are you a Manchester City fan?
United.
Okay. Ooh,
Yeah.
I've upset you twice now, saying I'm a Liverpool fan. And
I tried to keep it in, man.
I find these transfer fees and the money unbelievable. Like the level of that's being paid for players, and it's an interesting one for me. I do think it is going in that direction if you're trying to get a top player, but it's a hard one for me to swallow, to be honest with you. But maybe I'm just a little old school in that way.
No, I completely
have
agree.
that kind of mentality of just like, wow, that is astronomical.
I remember the day Cristiano Ronaldo got bought for 80 million pounds from Man United to Real Madrid, and that was a world record fee at the point. And I honestly thought at the time, I'll never see that get broken. And then I think 2 years later, it got broken.
And then in the summer, the Paris Saint-Germain signed both
Neymar and Mbappe for like 400.
Okay.
And you know what it is, right? With England right now, with how much money the Premier League generates in revenue and the TV deals, the teams like Nottingham Forest, who just contested for relegation this season, are able to tell any other club in the world, if you want to sign our player, we don't have to sell him. We're not under any financial problem. And they're able, rightfully so, to request any kind of fee they want for their player. They're not able to be bullied anymore by the big sides for their best players. And now it's just up to the opposite teams, Manchester City, Man United, Liverpool, to decide, okay, well, we also agree with your valuation. So I find it a hard pill to swallow because, just like Kacey, I'm used to maybe lesser fees. But that's the game now. And I just think the only way this is going to change is if teams start getting smarter in recruitment. If they start getting a bit more brave in terms of exploring other leagues, we're watching the World Cup right now. I just watched that kid from Cote d'Ivoire, Lyes. He's 20 years old playing for Trabzonspor, and he bossed the German team. Yeah. That guy's not going for 100 million. I mean, now after that, he might be, but my whole point here is great players exist on every single corner of the globe, and I just think there's not enough top teams willing to take the chance and exploring those kinds of deals.
To take the risk.
That's why Brighton and Bournemouth, by the way, end up with all the players that end up going for 100 million, by the way, right? Because they're smart enough to buy them when they're 10, 20.
Yeah, this is the great work they do, basically. This club like Bournemouth.
They're willing to do the groundwork, which I don't think the bigger sides are willing to put the time in.
But for example, Leipzig signed Diomande from
Leganés,
Leganés, 3 million. So
a year later, he's 100 million.
Yeah, but and
someone's going to pay it.
They know how to do it. Kacey, since you told me I love to analyze the tactical aspect of the game, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Is not taking Trent a mistake now James is out?
Oh gosh.
You're a Liverpool
fan,
fan,
ask me a Liverpool, like an ex-Liverpool player. I love it. Gosh, I think in general, I would lean towards, I don't understand why he's not on the roster in general. So yes, I do think, not necessarily just because he is out at this point, I think having someone of his quality that can play in different ways, like, okay, an outside back that can invert, he can play centrally, like he has the serviceability, all those pieces. I do like his player profile for England and what he could bring of filling in a lot of different spaces.
Personally, I don't think there's a single national team on the planet that wouldn't take Trent if he was from their country. I think this is only an English thing where the focus is always on the weakness of a player rather than what he can bring. In a 26-man squad, I'm sorry, I will never be able to understand how you can't find one spot for a player like Trent who can deliver a football like David Beckham. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, as I said, and as I repeat myself, it's like there is no chance that with the quality of football and the quality of players in England, that James Spence was fighting for relegation until the last.
Spence,
yeah.
Spence brings his own qualities. That's not even a shot at Jet Spence, but one guy plays for Real Madrid.
Yeah,
he literally plays for Real Madrid. He's a Champions League winner of Liverpool. The best coaches in the world have said, I want Trent Alexander-Arnold as my right back. And he's not good enough for England. That doesn't make sense.
Sorry, my mistake. They told me Diomande was 20 million to Leipzig. Yeah, anyway, still 20 million. You pay 20 million. It's 100. Guys, Colombia, Portugal, probably the most important game of the third fixture.
Yeah.
Now the question is, would you rather to see Portugal second and face Spain in the round of 16, or have them versus Argentina in the quarterfinals? Since we have a Portugal.
Well, I'll let you go first since you're sporting the Cristiano jersey today.
You know, it's so funny, man. I honestly think like football is so scripted because every single time it's like set up for Ronaldo and Messi to face each other in some form of the tournament, something ends up happening. Portugal and Argentina winning their groups was the most straightforward thing. Meet in the quarterfinals, get it over with. And yet you're telling me there's still a chance that something might happen to send him on the other side. Every time we think it's about to happen, something happens. So honestly, just for the sake of finally seeing them one against one on the biggest stage, I want to see Portugal top the group, and I want to see them in the quarterfinals. Just so we can say we saw it.
Kacey.
Completely agree with everything you just said. Just for the game, I want to see it. I also think it would just be nice to have that moment. It's not going to define their careers or in the debate, which I don't think it's a debate, quite honest, but the debate of people talking about Ronaldo, Messi, all of those types of things. But I think for the game and just the messaging around it and how wonderful that viewing experience would be unbelievable from a fan perspective.
It's just crazy. They met one time in like 20-something years in the Champions League. One time.
Unreal.
Or maybe twice, actually, because the year before in the semifinals.
Yeah.
One time at the peak of their powers they met. They've met 0 times at an international tournament. That is so unfortunate, honestly. Like it's crazy how Real Madrid and Barcelona never faced each other in the Champions League once, ever.
I mean, they faced them.
Sorry, 2011. Yeah, that's the
yeah,
year.
when.
Since then, they never faced each other. That's
Yeah.
that's 15 years ago.
Yeah, guys, do you have the feeling that some teams that probably try to play with the positioning? I don't know.
Why are you looking at me when you say
No,
that?
no. Norway today
Yeah.
decided to play with the second team.
Yeah, I mean, look, I even think you saw yesterday Japan, Sweden, Australia, Paraguay. I think there was a clear decision halfway through that game when they realized the result would suit them that I think they took their foot off the gas a little bit. And I think the most interesting one is going to end up being Algeria, Austria, because it's the last game of the tournament. All the other results will have been decided. Both teams will know what they need to progress. And a draw probably gets both of them through.
Okay, so are you confident tomorrow?
No.
Okay.
I'm never calling. I'm like Dan, man, honestly. Watching football when it's Algeria is stressful.
Watching
man.
football overrated.
Ask me if I'm confident after the game. That'll tell you.
Guys, let's go to Dan to get a quick fire on the game we have so far.
Yeah, so we realised after the last episode that we are planning to go back to our predictions, right, for the knockout stages. But our next episode is on Monday after 2 of the last 32 games have already been played. So what we're going to do, I think, Ale, you're going to message Luca and Lyes separately and we'll get your predictions via text over the weekend.
No problem.
But in the meantime, we know 5 out of the last 32 rounds so far.
Out of a lot.
Out of a lot. See what I did there. And I just want to get a real quick fire of who's going to go through. We don't need scores, just who's going to do it. Don't think too much. Okay, first up, South Africa versus Canada.
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 Okay. Ooh. Netherlands versus Morocco.
Netherlands.
Come on!
Bated breath.
USA versus Bosnia and Herzegovina.
USA.
Ale, but Bosnia
USA. Yes.
There was a little hesitation there.
No. Trust me, with Bosnia, no.
Okay, perfect.
Brazil versus Japan. Really interesting.
Brazil.
Japan.
We've arrived! Yes! But I'm going to say Brazil.
Yeah.
You love it, but you're not going to support it.
We got
I
the
like
big
it.
hot take of the show. There you go.
All right.
And finally, Ivory Coast versus Norway.
This is so exciting.
This is hard.
exciting.
I'm going to give it to Norway because I think Haaland can pull goals out of nowhere even if the Ivory Coast is playing well. I think he just changes the game on its head. So I'm going to go Norway.
That is such a difficult game.
It is.
Cote d'Ivoire versus Norway, 2 of the most impressive teams of this tournament.
So I think you got to bet on Haaland. Who steps up?
I bet on the superstar. You're right. I go Erling Haaland and I go Norway. But that pains me to say. Cote d'Ivoire is my dark horse right now.
Yeah, knockout game, you want to play Erling Haaland.
I hope Cote d'Ivoire get it done, though. I hope they get it done. But I think Norway. I think you're right.
Norway. Now, people say you need to pray for a Maza masterclass tomorrow.
Maradona. That's what we're calling him. Our best player's name is Ibrahim Maza. He plays for Leverkusen right now. We nicknamed him Maradona at the moment. So.
Love it.
Yeah. I hope so. Look, it's going to be a tough game against Austria. We got history against them. It's a must-win game, and pray for me, guys. That's all I can say.
People say Ivory Coast are unexperienced for knockout, I want to say.
Norway is also inexperienced, though.
Yeah, but you have Erling Haaland. When you have Erling Haaland.
I hear it, but you can't say Cote d'Ivoire.
You are not facing Germany. Yeah, of course.
But the further it goes, that's where the X Factor players, in my opinion, make the difference.
Cote d'Ivoire have a few of them, though. Huh? I think the
They
wing
do.
pairing, Ahmad and
Erling Haaland,
Diomande.
though?
Yeah, no, true.
that's-
But I think they're up again. I think Cote d'Ivoire, they definitely got players that can hurt you in the final third. Definitely.
Fair.
Guys, unfortunately, time flies when you're happy. Kacey, hope you enjoyed the time with us.
I did. Thank you so much for having me.
It
This is
was
great.
a-
I'll do it anytime.
There you go.
You can come back whenever you want, literally.
We got the cosign.
Yes.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
People, see you on Monday, hopefully in time. and I can carry on now. YouTube. We said goodbye to the people on SI TV, and what we need to say? 6 p.m. New York, Monday. It's fine.
I'm there 6 p.m. I will be there on the dot 6 p.m.
6 p.m. New York. Then let me.
More importantly, are you coming to what was it called? Harley's Saloon for
after the
Morocco?
game, Netherlands Morocco, we're going to watch.
Any chance there's a way I can hate watch on Morocco as an Algerian, I will be there. I will be. Bring me a Dutch shirt, I will wear it. I promise
Casey,
you.
if
man.
you're going to wear that shirt this time, you're welcome
Okay,
as well.
thank you. I appreciate that.
6 p.m. New York, 11 p.m. London, midnight in Europe. I'll still need to figure it out in Asia, but I'm gonna get better, guys. Thanks very much for watching us, and see you next time. Ciao.